Most people already know what they want in life. The problem isn't the knowledge that they lack or the resources that they lack, but more so of caring what people think of them. The fear of overthinking and procrastination stop more dreams than the lack of talent ever will. Today I will be explaining why you're stuck in your head instead of moving forward, and how you can get out of that cycle, and how you can finally take action without letting fear run your life. People are literally paralyzed by the fear of judgment. And I can't lie, I was one of these people as well. I was one to always care about what people thought of me. I was one to always put people's opinions above mine and what I really wanted to do. It wasn't until I learned that my opinion is the only opinion that matters. Not how people see me, not how people view me, not what people think nor say about me, but me, my own opinion. And it's crazy because most of the time, the people who have things to say are usually the people who aren't doing anything with their life. You'll never catch someone who's ahead in life or has everything figured out or even making their way to where they want to be talking down or bad about someone. It is usually the ones who aren't doing anything with their life. And once I realize that, and once you realize that, you will understand that these opinions don't really matter. Because these opinions aren't of people of power. These opinions aren't of people who can get me to where I want to go. So you have to understand that these opinions do not matter. I remember when I first posted content, right? I used to play basketball, but I was scared to make this transition because everybody viewed me as a basketball player and not as some content creator. So I felt like me jumping in this other lane, people would see me as desperate or, oh, he sucks. He sucked at basketball. That's why he's turned into this. So and so, just all these narratives that people could create, right? But I said, I got to a point, I was like, yo, forget what people think. Forget what people think. Forget what people say, because this is what I want to do. And I started posting content. I started doing what I was doing, and I started getting good feedback. And it made me realize that these opinions that I thought people were going to have, and who knows, maybe they did have them. But the opinions that people have, it does not matter, because the good will always overshadow those opinions if you're striving and moving with purpose and good intentions. So what it all boils down to, you just have to choose your future over people's opinions. Because at the end of the day, when you decide not to do something because of what you think someone will think of you, you're just choosing their opinions over your future and your success. Another subject I want to touch on is the I'll start when it's perfect. Whenever people say that, it just means you're never starting. Because it'll never be perfect. Even when you do have what you want, it'll never be perfect. Action is what creates clarity, not thinking. Thinking doesn't get you to success. Thinking doesn't get you to perfection. It's the actions that you take along the way and you learn along the way that helps you grow and figure out what works and what does not work. You don't think your way into success, you act your way into success. And you move with intent and with purpose. And that is what gets you clarity. Think about when you're driving at night, right? You can't see the whole road. You can't see your destination. You can't see where you're going, but you can see 10 feet ahead of you. That narrow, that shallow road that is leading you. That's what you can see. And that is all you need to see. You just need to see progress. You just need to see those next 10 feet that are in front of you. And you just need to keep taking it and keep taking it and keep taking it until eventually you have reached your destination. Progress beats perfection any day of the week. Any day of the week. The longer you wait, the further your dreams are getting away from you. The more excuses you make, the more trust you're losing in yourself. You build confidence and you get clarity with action. So move. Take that first step. Take that next step. But just make sure you're moving ahead every single day. And you'll have everything you want. So stop waiting for perfection. Just make progress. Another thing that is holding you back is the lack of consistency and discipline. People wait until they quote unquote feel like it. Discipline is doing it anyways. Discipline is doing it tired. Discipline is doing it sad. Discipline is doing it mad. It doesn't matter how you feel. You have to put your future and your vision over your feelings. Once you can learn that No matter how you feel, the work has to be put in. No matter what you think, the work has to be put in. That is when you'll start seeing progress. Because we're humans. You're never going to feel like doing something. You're never always going to just be happy and in the mood to do something. It is up to your discipline. It is up to your mind. It is up to your abilities and your self-belief to put in the work and take that step. Not your willpower, not your emotions, but the discipline and the mind and knowing and understanding that the work must be put in order to get where I want to be. And not only does the work have to be put in, but when the work is being put in, it has to be put in consistently. And when I say consistently, I do not mean mashing the gas 24/7. I do not mean burning out. I do not mean overworking or overloading yourself. Now, if you can handle that, great. That's great. You will only achieve your goals faster. Do it. But you can achieve your goals little by pouring in. Here's a glass of water. You can achieve it by pouring in just a little bit every single day. Every single day. Every single day. Every single day, just choose discipline over your feelings. Choose discipline over your emotions. And put the work in, most importantly. And when you do it, get better at it. Daily, day by day, just chip away at it. Chip away at it. Chip away at it. Chip away at it. Think about it like this, right? If every day you did 20 push-ups, by the end of the month, that's 600 push-ups. 600 push-ups just by deciding to do 20 every day. Small effort, yet huge results. That is the same way with your work. That is the same way with your craft. You put effort in every single day, you will look up and you'll see big results. Momentum is what builds discipline, not the other way around. The first step to breaking out of these habits and building character and building that dream life, you must take one small action. One small action, whether that's posting your first piece of content, whether that's posting that music, whether that's recording that first video, you must take one small action. That is the first step, action. And I say small because it doesn't have to be big, but it can't be vague. The next thing is reframing failure. Whenever things don't go your way, whenever you don't get the outcome you wanted or that you thought you would get, it is not failure. Stop looking at it as failure. All it is feedback. All it is a message on what you can do better. And you need to view it as that. Because once you see it as failure or it being less than it was supposed to be, you're already doing it wrong. So reframe what failure means. Failure is feedback. Failure is first attempt in learning. Even if you do it multiple times, it is still your first attempt in learning. It is the only attempt in learning, to be honest, besides actually sitting down and watching. Failure is the best way to learn because you see what you've done wrong. So once you see what you've done wrong, you know that it needs to be right. And you see what you've done wrong, which is the good thing. It would be worse if you didn't know what you did wrong, if you didn't know what went wrong. But with failure, you can see what goes wrong. So failure equals feedback, not the end. The next thing you must do is audit your circle. Cut out that negative energy. Cut out those bad habits. Be around people who encourage you to do better. Be around people who make it hard to do the bad things and do the things you don't want to do. You need to be around people who make it easy to make the right choice. Your willpower can only take you so far. Once you have the willpower and the environment, that's when everything starts to come together. But your environment is just important as your willpower. And if you don't know what willpower means, it's just the power, it's just the will to want to do something, the will to want to be better. So audit your circle, audit your environment. Mix your willpower with the right people and the right things, and I promise you will only elevate and see growth. The next thing is focus on your self-trust. You build confidence by doing the things you said you were going to do. You build confidence by action, not by words, not by thoughts, but by action. The people with the utmost confidence is because they've done things. They proved themselves right, and you can do the same. So stop talking, stop thinking, and just do it. Prove yourself right. Tell yourself you can do something and then do it. Not by thoughts or words, action. So build that self-belief, build that confidence. Action is what kills fear. And once you move, that fear shrinks. So those fears, overthinking, and procrastination you have, they're not unbeatable. You just need to start moving. You just need to start taking action. You just need to start doing the things you know you need to do in order to be successful. I'm pretty sure you sitting right here, you know your weakness. You know what you could do better on. And that is all you have to do. And instead of thinking and saying, you just need to do. So if you've been feeling stuck in your head, let this be a sign, or let this be a reminder. Action is what kills fear, procrastination, and overthinking. And the only way you will ever get over that is by putting in action, is by doing. Take one step today, no matter how small. It could be something as small as cooking. It could be something as small as reading, writing, calling that person. Something as small as that. Just take one action today, because action is what kills fear. And if you want more videos that push you to build discipline, consistency, and defeat procrastination, hit that subscribe button and comment one action you're going to take this week that is going to kill that fear.